makes me wish I'd bought my snowboard. This week, I'll be swapping my desert flavour from Chilean to Peruvian. A hopefully painless border crossing will lead me through the coastal desert and ultimately land me in Peru's second city, Arequipa. From there, it's a steep climb to Condor country and a dizzying height of almost 5,000 metres before back to sea level and a serious dose of sand. Waving farewell to the Novotel comforts, I detect a distinct lack of fiesta in Arica's air as it bids me adios. I can only hope this isn't a portent of things to come at the Santa Rosa border crossing. Another smooth one would be most welcome. The city limits quickly recede in the rearview mirror. It's a short ride to the border, and I'm happy to see that my trusty steed seems to grant me free passage past the local guardians. The modern border facility is a good sign, and it's not long before rubber is stamped and I'm out of Chile and into Peru. After confusing the customs officers with the vibrant chaos that is my UK registration document, the last step is to prepare for a search. However, amidst the envious glares of my cage-bound fellow travellers, I'm simply waved through with the most cursory of inspections. Welcome to Peru. And apparently the weather around here respects national borders too. Either that or Peru, unlike Chile, is up to date on its power bill. It's not long before I swing off the main road and into what appears to be a highway maternity ward. Resisting the temptation to carve up the fledgling surface, it's not long before I hit the sand and salty air of the Pacific coast. My appreciation of the surf and beachfront architecture is abruptly cut short by the emergence of another checkpoint. The ink on my border stamps is barely dry, but the officials here insist on subjecting both my passport and my bike documents to forensic scrutiny, presumably in case their comrades missed something at the border all of half an hour ago. Plenty thumb-twiddling minutes later, the computer overlords have been appeased, and I'm waved on my way. My initial fear at the sight of another checkpoint melts away as I realise it's just a toll booth, and free in my direction. The Peruvian coast isn't short of sand, nor excellent driving skills, but it's a stunning ride. The unexpected arrival of green coincides with a turn inland and a climb back to the desert plateau. Cows and cornfields provide an odd juxtaposition to the towering sand dunes, but I guess your milk and salad have to come from somewhere. I merge onto the Peruvian stretch of the Pan-American Highway, where the desert landscape appears both familiar and intriguingly different, unlike the Peruvian speed bumps. And at least at this checkpoint, everyone appears to be off enjoying lunch. Pristine tarmac and sweeping vistas usher in a state of zen-like tranquility. The local drivers, however, have quite the opposite effect. The next set of green signals my arrival in the town of Moquegua. The sign proudly proclaims this as the land of sun and friendship. Sun, big check. As for friendship, let's see. Either way, there's nowhere else to stop between here and Arequipa, so I'll be spending the night. Hostel Montalvo does indeed prove to be friendly, much like the rest of the town. Day 23 sees me traversing the southern desert once more. Today I'll knock off the final leg on my ride to Peru's second city, Arequipa. The route charts a rough arc back towards the coast before the highway sweeps me up and inland.
And you feel like you can't go on. I'll be there to put one foot in front of the other. When you've lost your way.
Arriving at my first proper toll booth, some unclear signage and poor gesturing skills mean a little backpedaling is required. But at least the tolls are also free for motorcycles in Peru, even if the process is a little more convoluted than absolutely necessary.
And put them back together.
Booth conquered, I'm back on the road north, and sand dunes give way to rocky desert.
Every fall and every rise, every wrong and every right.
I'm impressed with the scenery, and also that apparently the ancient Incas were fans of the Claro mobile network. It seems we're not done with the dunes. Not that I'm complaining, it's an amazing twisty ride through this milescape.
I'll be there for you. Every fall and every rise, every wrong.
Verdant slash across the dunescape usually signifies a settlement of some kind, although previous experience suggests this won't be much more than a glorified truck stop, so it's straight on through to Arequipa for me. The ride eventually tops out on yet another desert plateau, and a crest of dunes which mark the beginning of my arrival at the last truck stop, I mean town, before a gentle descent moves me into Arequipa.
I'll be there for you.
While the local constabulary busies itself with the task of corralling the scattered rocks on the road, I can only hope the traffic remains mercifully light on my last few Ks into town.
I'll be there for you. Yeah, I'll be there.
Hitting a wall of trucks, my spirits plummet at the prospect of crawling through the warm afternoon sun for another hour or so. Yet salvation arrives in an unlikely form, another toll station, or more specifically, the associated VIP lane for motorcycles. It truly never gets old. Skipping past the last of the trucks, the outskirts of Arequipa blur into a swift backdrop before surrendering to the first big city roads I've seen since Buenos Aires, and with them, big city traffic. I'm planning to stay in town for a couple of days to take a well-deserved break and tackle some of the inescapable administrative tasks that seem to materialise with maddening regularity regardless of where you are. In retrospect, it would have been wiser to simply walk the bike out, but hindsight, as ever, remains the most infuriatingly precise of all sciences.
Thank you, Daisy. It's been very nice. Yes, thank you, Doc.
Having taken my leave of Casavia and the wonderfully affable staff, today's plan is to ride straight up the mountain, but first I need to make my escape from Arequipa. The city itself sprawls out at a bracing 2,300 metres, but once again it's a mere foothill. Today I'll be tapping the ceiling on one of the highest rides of the whole trip at almost 5,000 metres. To avoid spending hours in truck purgatory, I've chosen a twisty back road which snakes its way up the mountain under the watchful eye of the Volcan Misty, a picture-perfect giant which tops out at over 5,800 metres and which could, with one cough, reduce the whole of Arequipa to a black and crisp. Tarmac swiftly surrenders to gravel and the road presents dozens of switchbacks to get to the top. This should be fun.
Turn on my kin with the slightest temperature change. We exited room with the same dependence on breathing, and our blood runs deeper. But in this system, all I settle for is hate.
Top for now, and a brief plateau before I hit the next rung of the Andes ladder.
Trying my best to escape all the infinite wisdom in a voice that cries deeper. Where's the raw heart burning foolish kind of love? I believe.
Inevitably, it's not long before rubber hits tarmac again, and I'm left to marvel at the quality of Peru's infrastructure. Even at this altitude, it's a silky smooth ride, and unlike its Chilean counterparts, there's not a pothole in sight.
When punches stop flying, I believe in a kiss. When brothers are dying, I believe in a kiss.
The plateau finally relents, depositing me back to the embrace of the volcanic terrain. But it's a short dip before I hit one of the highest paved roads in Peru, and indeed the world, at the Mirador de los Volcanes, or in the far less poetic English, the volcano's viewpoint.
Tangled tied up in a web of social disguise, hiding under blankets, statements covered.
Descending the other side, I'll sweep northward through the picturesque Colca Valley en route to the quaint town of Cabanaconde and my bed for the night. But don't let the word valley fool you, we're still cruising at over 3,600 metres.
We could end this war with contagious love.
The town of Chile squats like a guard dog at the valley's southern gateway. Somewhere along the way, I'll need to part with a few soles for the obligatory tourist tax. But for now, I can sit back and enjoy the pretty views of the old-school terrace farming. An unexpected detour through a random small town adds a touch of intrigue to the journey, but it doesn't take long to uncover the reason behind this deviation. You can't see it on camera, but the old road is just off to the side, only resting on the canyon floor 100 metres or so below. This valley also also heralds the beginning of the Colca Canyon, an immense chasm that plummets over 2,000 metres at some point, and making the Grand Canyon feel a little less grand. And of course, any photographs fall short of the staggering reality. Pushing on, the climb opens up with some colossal walls of rock that tower over even the canyon rim itself. Impressive stuff. Momentarily distracted by the necessity of purchasing a ticket, I find myself on the Australian side of the road. Remarkably, this is the first such lapse on the entire journey. Tourist tax means you're good for a 3-day visit. The extensive form filling does feel a little bit disproportionate to the modest fee, but who am I to judge?
If love is illusion, then I'm in last place, and I keep on wishing this wasn't our two-face, but you love me honest, you love me at worst, and I know there's one thing, the way you don't.
Lost in contemplation over the curious case of who let the horses out, my thoughts are abruptly interrupted by my arrival at the cruzdecondor viewpoint. On a good day, you're sometimes able to see these enormous birds cruising the updrafts created by the immense canyon walls. Sadly, the condors are all off on other business today, and the remaining locals don't seem all that impressed with my visit. It's not too long before I'm rolling into tiny Cabanaconde. Despite the pleasant afternoon sun, I'm looking forward to my hotel. But Garmin, it seems, has other plans. Despite clearly marked main roads into town, it opts to chart me another special route, leading to a dead end and some more backpedaling. Luckily, Cabanaconde is truly small, so it's not long before I'm pulling up at the well-regarded Casa de Santiago, where glorious rest awaits. Day 25, and the curtains are thrown open to a cloudless Andean morning. Today, I bid farewell to the altitude and make my descent back to the coast. But before I let gravity do the work, there's one last hurrah through the terraces of the Colca Valley. High-altitude tarmac cuts an impressive ribbon across the mountainside. I'm going to enjoy it while I can, because I know that lurking on the horizon is a couple of bone-jarring hours on the longest stretch of gravel I've faced to date. seems that Sundays in Huambo don't offer a wealth of diversions for the local youth. The drummers seem enthusiastic, but the rest of the kids wear expressions that suggest they'd rather be back at home surfing TikTok. For me, Huambo marks the start of a truly suspension and buttock testing gravel section that won't let up until I hit the ocean over 3,000 metres below. Unyielding bumps give my internal organs a good workout, but unfortunately the trim on my windscreen hasn't taken the pummeling as well as I have. A quick stop is needed to sort it out.
Such a shame this just keeps falling off. It's otherwise a fantastic screen, but it's just a bit of an oversight in the design, I think. It really needs to be glued on, I guess, or maybe just got rid of completely. But yeah, it is a shame. Hopefully it's only the super rough that's caused that one, but we'll give it a squeeze on. There we go.
When I reviewed this Rada garage windscreen a while back, I had a sneaking suspicion the trim might become a concern. With everything resecured for now, I can't help but wonder how long it will be before it has to go completely. The tiger-striped mountains soon give way to the familiar barren landscape of the Peruvian coast. A welcome change and some respite from the bump-induced workout. Now don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the off-road ride, but eventually all novelties start to wear thin, and after rattling down 3,000 metres, I'm truly happy at the first sight of tarmac. I'm staying in Pedregal, supposedly the nicer end of the town of Majes.
Keeps my back to the wall.
It's a short ride to the hotel, and I'm definitely ready to be dust-free and relaxed, but not before a little TLC for my trusty steed.
Oh, can't you see, you won't let me be.
Day 26 dawns, and I'll be rolling back into full-on dune country.
Heart so loud as it beats in my chest. Can't get down, no, we can't have the best of me.
Majes isn't much more than a dot in the desert, so it's not long before I'm leaving behind the pimped-up tuk-tuks and hitting the open road.
No, I try getting farther, keep my feet from the street.
The first decent curves of the day, and another demonstration of Peruvian drivers' aversion to lines. The local skills unfold before me with all the subtlety of a piñata full of scorpions.
Can't you see?
And once more with feeling,
Let me be. It tears me down till I'm begging for it. Heart so loud as it beats in my chest. I can't get down, no, it can't have the best of me.
the coast itself is a return to form, the desert sand striking a brilliant contrast with the Pacific blue. And it even looks like there might be a break or two here, if only I'd bought my surfboard.
Don't give up and don't give in. You're worth more, so don't pretend. I won't let you fall away. Get back up, you've won this day. There'll be troubles all along. Don't forget to sing this song. I'll be with you, take your stand.
Further north, there's one more coastal mountain range to traverse before I roll into Atico, and it comes in Technicolor by the looks of things.
Tears me down till I'm begging for it. Heart so loud as a piece of my chest. I can't get down, no you can't have
The steep and twisty ride quickly shifts me 100 metres above the surf. It might not sound like much after my recent adventures near 5,000 metres, but it's all relative, and definitely makes for some great views. As I pull out of the Oasis Valley, another convoy of trucks lumbers its way up the hill. Turn by turn, the progress is glacial. This could go on for ages, so thanks to the wonders of motorcycle acceleration, I decide it's probably time for a little dodgy overtaking of my own. With the highway opened up again, I should now have a clear run to Atico, another glorified truck stop on the highway, but also my destination for the night. You have to admire the optimism of whoever built these retaining walls, but clearly, sand has its own ideas. The founders of Atico planted their flag on one of the only pieces of flat ground in the area. It doesn't have much in the way of tourist credentials, but one well-rated hotel is all I need. Rocks. Red beaches. Lines. Irrigation. Green. Deliveries. Oases. And public transport.